Welcome back to the return of NFL Weekly. Your host, Nick Centofanti, is still here, and I have my new co-host,
Alex Lee.
This year, we're switching it up a little bit. We're going to go game by game making predictions, and we're going to turn this into a little competition. We'll see who has the most points at the end. We're going to do an upset pick each week. That's going to be worth 3 points. And a normal one will be worth 1.
All right, for the first game of the week, we have the New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. This is the Thursday night football game. Nick, what do you think will happen?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Alex. I think the Eagles are going to pull this one out after a late surge versus Baltimore. It's going to give them a little momentum and a reason to go into this game confident. And I think this Giants team is just putrid.
Yeah.
And I'm liking the Eagles' chances here. What are you thinking?
I got the Eagles in this one. The Giants are coming off the win versus the Redskins, and like you said, the Eagles made the late comeback, but they couldn't get the job done. And even without Miles Sanders and Dak Ertz, the Eagles will get it done.
For the game of the week, we got a battle of undefeateds between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Tennessee Titans. Alex, what are you thinking here?
I got the Titans in this one. I think they'll stay undefeated, and even though the Pittsburgh defense is really good, I think Derrick Henry is going to have another monster game. I think it will be close, and Chase Claypool will go off again, but I have the Titans by a field goal. What about you?
Even after Derrick Henry's dominant performance, I think the Steelers' defense is really good still, even with losing Devin Bush for the year. And I also think their offense is going to step it up. I think James Conner had a good game, and their receiving core is really stepping it up for Big Ben. And I like the way they're playing right now, so give me the Steelers.
And for the next game, we have the Browns at the Bengals. Nick, what do you think will happen?
Well, the Bengals had a fantastic first half in their last game, but they really turned it down entering the second half, and I think that momentum is going to stick. And I think this Browns team has something to prove after an absolute blowout that they just encountered by the Steelers. And I just think this Browns team is too talented for this Bengals team to keep up with. What are you thinking, Alex?
I got the Browns. I think it would be a repeat of the week 2 primetime game. A close one that the Bengals could win, but in the end they couldn't get it done. And, yeah, the Bengals looked amazing in the first quarter, but I think the Browns will win close.
All right, we're not even going to waste too much time on this one. It's the Jets and the Bills. The Jets just aren't even a football team right now. And the Bills, they're going to make it up after getting blown out by the Chiefs. Josh Allen's going to have a redemption game. He's probably going to put up 404 touchdowns. This Jets defense is just nowhere to be found. Got anything to say?
Yeah, I got the Bills big. Jets aren't even a football team.
All right, next we got the Panthers traveling to the Superdome to take on the Saints. Alex, who are you taking here?
I got the Saints. I think Teddy Bridgewater will return back to the Superdome and not play bad, but I don't think the Panthers have it to get over the Saints. I think the Saints will go to 4-2 and finally get on track. What do you think?
I think the return of Michael Thomas, as long as he doesn't punch another one of his teammates, should be big for Drew Brees here. And I like the Saints' offensive power with Michael Thomas back. The receivers have Emmanuel Sanders has been good. He's been handling the load as long as Michael Thomas has been gone, but now they're getting him back. I like the Saints in this one.
For the next game, we got the 2-3 Detroit Lions traveling down to Atlanta to play the 1-5 Falcons. Nick, who do you have?
Even the Lions coming off a win and DeAndre Swift's big game. And the Falcons do have a bad defense, but I really like the way the Falcons are playing offense right now. Calvin Ridley had a nice game. Julio had a huge game. Matt Ryan, he finally broke out. I like the Falcons in this one. Alex, what are you thinking?
I think the Falcons are going to win. Matt Ryan looked really good last week. And even though the Falcons are 1-5, I don't think their record really shows that. Like, they've been in so many of their games. And, yeah, Julio did break out last week, and I don't think a Lions cornerback can cover him, so I got the Falcons.
All right, we got an intriguing one here between the 2-4 Cowboys and the 1-5 Redskins. All right, Alex, who are you thinking here?
I'm taking the Cowboys, even though they got smacked on Monday Night Football. I think the Redskins aren't very good, and they shouldn't have benched Dwayne Haskins, who's their only good quarterback they have. But I think Andy Dalton will finally figure it out, and Zeke will have a big game. So I got the Cowboys winning this one. What do you think?
Here comes my upset of the week. I like the Redskins in this one. I think this Cowboys O-line. I love the Redskins D-line. I think it'll get a lot of pressure on Dalton, and he's gonna have to get the ball out really quick. And this Washington defense really isn't that bad, and the Cowboys defense is just like indisputably terrible. So I like Kyle Allen maybe throwing 2 or 3 touchdowns here, going shot for shot with Andy Dalton. So I'm gonna take the Redskins in this one.
So that is Nick's upset pick of the week, and if he gets that correct, it will be worth 3 points. For the next game, we have the Packers traveling to the Texans, and the Texans are 1-5, but this is my upset pick of the week. I got the Texans over the Packers. The Packers were looking good for the solid first half quarter, up 10-0 on the Bucs, but then they completely collapsed. And then Deshaun Watson had an amazing game last week, and I think he'll keep that up and then beat the Packers. Nick, what do you think?
I think the Texans' offense is coming off a good game. Fuller and David Johnson both got in the end zone. But I also think the Packers have something to prove here after getting smacked around last week. So I'm taking the Packers here. We got a really good matchup between 2 NFC West teams right here. We got the Seahawks traveling to Glendale to take on the Cardinals. Alex, who are you going with?
I have the Seahawks improving to 6-0. The Cardinals smacked the Cowboys around on Monday Night Football, but they were facing Andy Dalton, and that's not hard to do. But I have the Seahawks winning close.
For me here, too, I think I'm going to go Seahawks. The Cardinals are coming off a dominant performance in which Kenyon Drake finally had a breakout game, too.
Yeah.
Kyler had a nice game on the ground and through the air.
He only completed 9 passes, too, the whole game.
But I do think the Seahawks offense is really good, and the defense is satisfactory enough. I think Russell Wilson and DK are going to have a big game. And give me the Seahawks here. All right, so we got another one, a bit of a lame one here. We got the Justin Herbert and the Chargers going to take on a Minshew Mania and the 1-5 Jags. Alex?
I got Herbert going off this game, and Jaguars are really bad. They're not even a football team, and I think Herbert will go off with Keenan Allen and then continue his campaign for Offensive Rookie of the Year. What do you think?
Yeah, give me Herbert and Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen making the return this week after injuring himself in the Saints game. I think he's going to have a dominant performance for my fantasy team, and I don't like anything the Jags are doing other than James Robinson, kind of. So give me the Chargers.
Next up, at a 4:25 p.m. start, we have the Chiefs at the Broncos. I have the Chiefs in this one. I think Drew Lock, he didn't play that well last week in his return, but they still got the win over the Patriots. But I think the Chiefs' offense is too hard to handle, and I think they'll win by 10+ for sure. What do you think, Nick?
It's crazy to say, but this Chiefs team just keeps getting more and more dominant now with the addition of Le'Veon Bell, which is unreal to me. And the Broncos just don't have the firepower to keep up with them on offense or defense. So, Chiefs all the way. We got a good one in Foxborough, too, this week, with the Niners coming fresh off a dominant win against the Rams, to take on the Patriots, who need to redeem themselves. Alex, who are you thinking?
I got the 49ers. I think this will be a close defensive game. The Patriots came off a gross loss against the Broncos, which they played horrible. And the 49ers coming off that good win against the Rams, that kept them alive in the playoffs. I have the 49ers winning close. What do you think, Nick?
This 49ers team has a lot of weapons on offense, but I also think the Patriots have something to prove here again. And I think Cam is going to come back, have a nice little game through the air and on the ground. So I'm going to take the Patriots this week.
For Sunday Night Football this week, we have Tom Brady and the Bucs traveling to Las Vegas to play the Raiders, which is still weird to say, the Las Vegas Raiders. And then I think, who do I think is going to win? I think I got the Bucs. Tom Brady looked really good last week against Aaron Rodgers and outplayed him. And the Raiders, they're pretty good. They're kind of underrated still. But I have Tom Brady and the Bucs winning this primetime game. Nick, what do you think?
I got the Bucks finally hitting their stride here. Tom Brady's got a lot of weapons, and even Ronald Jones is coming on right now. He's getting the connection with Gronk back. He has Godwin, Scotty Miller, and Mike Evans to play around with. So he's got some weapons, and I don't think the Raiders are going to be able to keep up. Give me the Bucks. And then to close it out, Monday Night Football, we got the L.A. Rams taking on the Chicago Bears. A matchup between two good teams, one coming off a loss, one coming off a win, right?
Yeah, Bears won.
Bears won. Okay. I'm gonna just say it right away. I think the Rams are gonna take this one. I think Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp are both gonna have redemption games, but then go too crazy last week. I think Darrell Henderson's gonna have a nice game on the ground, and I don't think Foles and the Bears offense is gonna be able to keep up. Alex, who you got?
I got the Bears in this one. They're 5-1. They're looking good. The Rams did come off a good week against 49ers, but I think the Bears are going to improve to 6-1 with Nick Foles. But this game will be close. I can see it going either way, but I'm going to lean towards the Bears.
All right, well, that's it for this week of NFL Weekly. We will be back next week to update with results and the score count for this week. And all right, we'll see you next week.